You don't need a better camera, you need this. My fascination for filmmaking started with internet videos. When I hit pause on one of those videos, I saw a single frame. And when that frame showed me undeniable pixel perfect image quality, it was easy to think, this incredible video shows me an incredible picture, so I need an incredible camera. The endless chase for the perfect gear began. We become convinced that the secret to becoming a great filmmaker is unlocking the right camera with the right lens, but the truth is that the only thing you're actually missing is my LUT you can buy on Brukino. The only thing you're missing is actually a lot. Yeah, that makes more sense. By focusing on the surface, by obsessing over a single frozen frame, we miss the forest for the trees.
You can never analyze a great film by looking at a single image. A movie is meant to move. To truly understand great filmmaking, you gotta hit play. You gotta step back and look at the piece in its entirety.
And when you do that, when you look at how every shot, every cut, every sound and the music weaves together, one fundamental element rises above all the expensive gear in the world. The only thing that actually matters is story.
Before we go on an epic adventure to Storyland, I do want to say that gear does matter to a certain degree. Gear can add to your story, it can influence your story. It's the thing that captures your story. And I think every story has a unique combination of gear that is best for capturing it.
Just like with Pokemon, you're not going to use a standard Pokeball to capture the most powerful Pokemon in the game. You use the Ari ball. I never played it as a kid. This is the very first camera I ever bought. When I first started making videos, this is what I used to record, a Sony Handycam. Doesn't even shoot HD. Back then, great filmmaking wasn't necessarily about image quality, but about optical zoom. This camera was at the forefront of this. 60 times optical zoom. Like, who needs that?
Oh, would you look at this, mate?
I mainly used this camera to record skate edits and vacation videos, and it did a great job at these two things. Even though it didn't shoot HD, it was great for capturing stories in a fun way. Even a couple months ago, I decided to start recording on this thing again, and it was a lot of fun. The sound it makes when you open it and start it up, that is pure cinema. You know we're getting ready to cook when you hear that sound. My gas stove makes the exact same sound when you turn it on.
Speaking about sounds and the first things I ever used to make videos, this right here is the very first platform I ever used for downloading sounds and music for YouTube videos. It's called Epidemic Sound, and right now, 9 years later, they are the proud sponsor of this video. It's kind of like a full circle moment right here.
If you make videos, you have probably heard of them before. They have a massive catalog of 55,000 tracks and 250,000 sound effects. But my favorite feature on Epidemic is the search by reference track feature. You can type in any track or artist name or paste a Spotify link and get instant matches from Epidemic.
I don't know whether it's because they have such a huge library of good music or that they're just incredibly good at matching songs. But I can tell you from experience that this feature is a lot better compared to similar features on other music licensing platforms.
Check out the link in the description because there's a 30-day free trial plus 50% discount during the first 2 paying months if you use the code Brukino. Brukino. After the years went by, I did get new cameras, I did get better cameras, also got worse ones, smaller ones, they're just different ones. And even the cameras that didn't shoot incredible quality, they could totally capture a great story in an authentic way. I used GoPros to capture skateboarding travel adventures, and I used to capture conversations in South Africa and Hong Kong. And because these cameras are so small, it was probably the most authentic way I could have captured those stories. Back then I thought I needed a better camera, but in hindsight, a GoPro at the top of my face was the perfect setup. Weird? A bit weird, but definitely true. Even videos I recorded on the smallest possible cameras that didn't necessarily shoot the best quality have gotten millions of views.
Alright, so what all these cameras have in common is that they're able to capture stories. Human beings are hardwired for storytelling. It's how we make sense of the world.
Filmmaking is relatively new, but storytelling is ancient. For hundreds of thousands of years, humans survived by sharing information around a fire. Where the predators were, which berries were safe to eat, who to trust. What camera to buy? In a way, YouTube, Instagram and TikTok are our modern day campfires. Some might be addictive, are filled with toxic people that are good at telling stories but make you feel empty when you leave. And others can be incredibly engaging, giving you amazing stories with deep understanding of weird topics, and these will leave you satisfied at the end.
Alright, so I heard that they will soon give us the option to get rid of the superficial, addictive short stories, known as YouTube Shorts. They're getting rid of YouTube Shorts, that's what I heard. I haven't found the option yet, so please comment below if you know more about this, but would be great. Hoi hoi! Ja, ik scan iedereen.
At its core, filmmaking is part of this technologically advanced campfire. The camera, the lighting and the screen, they're just the medium. The tale being told is what actually matters. Time for a little bit of nuance. Getting the right camera is still important. However, the problem can really occur when you get stuck in the chase for the best gear, when you're too deep in there and you can't get out. You've become so obsessed with how the image is captured that you've forgotten what you're capturing. We have to listen to a legendary Canadian communication theorist, Marshall McLuhan. The medium is the message. He coined this phrase in his 1964 book Understanding Media, the Extensions of Man. McLuhan is trying to show us that technology itself changes society much more than whatever content is broadcasted over it. These days, with the addictive nature of modern social media platforms, it's quite obvious. However, during McLuhan's time in 1964, Instagram wasn't that addictive, and this was quite a clever new thought. When you think about a camera, you think about the quality of the images and videos. You think, if I buy a better camera, my videos will look better, story might be better. McLuhan is warning us to look at the behavioral shift the tool creates. If we would place cameras in two broad categories, heavy professional cinema camera and smartphone or action cam, we can say some things about how these cameras influence your behavior when filming, the behavior of your subject and the perception of the viewer when you're watching the footage. For cinema cameras, we could say that it makes you slower, subject becomes a bit more nervous, and the perception is more likely to feel like art, but also definitely more constructed. For action cameras and smartphones, that would be that they are fast, there's definitely not as much pressure on the subject, and there's an increase in the perception of honesty. So the point here is that yes, the camera does matter for your story. However, it's not just that you need a better camera for every single story. For every single story, there is a certain type of camera that works best, and it might be the smartphone you already own.
Now, I hope I've planted a seed for you to start making videos with whatever you have. There's great films shot on smartphones, but there's this one YouTube documentary that will really inspire you to do this. It's called The Piss Saga.
I highly recommend you to watch it because it's an incredibly good story viewed over 1 million times, and it was crafted by mainly using iPhone pictures. I asked the creator of this documentary for some tips on how to craft incredible stories with simple gear.
I think a lot of people are like detracted by it at first, like what the Piss Saga, you know, and then they click on it, and then I mean, piss is universal, it hooks you from the get-go.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And like I do, like a lot of my like narrative work and stuff like that, they'll be like a bit more like crew size and more, you know, precise in production and stuff like that. And but for my documentaries, I like just the lo-fi, you know, a lot of it's just stills on your iPhone, and I think that being that limited, and then it forces you to kind of be creative and write around, especially with the voiceover and everything like that, to kind of write the story around what you have, you know? I mean, you always hear like in these interviews, like it doesn't matter about the type of camera that you have, as long as you have something and you're making something. I think the best stuff is this writing and editing. I think that really shows you how to structure a story, what works. Messing around with structure, writing, editing, I think that's a great jump off, and then worry about the cameras and all that stuff later. You know, I'm sure you've seen a lot of like very beautiful work, but then you're just like, I don't know about that story, or you know. But then you've seen the opposite, where it's like very good story, and if it's shitty camera work, it's like, yeah, that worked, you know.
Yeah, I think your video is the ultimate example.
Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, right.
yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
Yeah.
to learn this type of storytelling that you showed in your video, just edit and write. That's the.
I think edit and write. I think fully it's like, because editing is writing. You know, it's like the last form of writing. You know, you write the thing, you go and shoot it, light it, and it goes to the edit, and that's the last form of writing. Editing is a form of writing, basically.
There's definitely a lot more that can be said about this topic, because if you have the option to shoot great video, to shoot with a great camera, it's also something that can really motivate you and excite you. Obtaining the skill of shooting beautiful videos is definitely something that is valuable, and you should learn if you have the option to. For now, check out this video on the channel. It's YouTube's personal pick for you, and you might learn something from it. Thanks so much for watching. The channel has really grown a lot the past months, and I really appreciate that.